I've literally got 2 hours in the morning to go out and take some images. I'm bursting to get out, I can't wait. I've not been out for well over a week and I'm dying to get behind the camera. The place I'm going to is called Yarrow Valley Park, and I've been there so many times over the years. I used to play in the woodlands as a kid, I used to make dens, I used to fish there as a teenager. So the shot I have in mind is within an area of dense woodland, and the woodland floor is absolutely carpeted with wild garlic. It looks fantastic, but to add to that, there's a pathway that snakes through the garlic flowers, and it just helps to draw your eye and it makes for a lovely picture. When I was there 2 years ago, I was probably there a little bit early. None of the flowers were out, but it helped to define the pathway through the garlic, and I've often wondered whether when the garlic flowers are out, they've got these lovely big white pom-pom heads almost, and they do look amazing, but I've often wondered if they'd be too dominant and whether the pathway will be lost. But anyway, I'm going to go back and see what it looks like and compare the two. I'll put both pictures on at the end so you can look at them and make your own decisions. I'm not saying one's going to be better than the other. It may well be the case that the earlier one with no flowers is the stronger picture. I don't know. The weather forecast for tomorrow is ideal for shooting woodland plants. It's not the same as I had last time. Last time I had dapple light and it did make for a really nice spring looking, almost mysterious picture. It had an ethereal quality to it. So I think tomorrow's conditions are going to be very, very different, but nonetheless they're ideal for shooting woodland flora. So I shall see you in the morning. So I've literally just arrived. I've got here and I'm walking to the spot where I want to do the shoot. And I have to say, fortunately, the ramsons, or wild garlic as they're more commonly known, are flowering. I can't wait to get there now. I've literally got the place to myself. It's wonderful. So I've just arrived, I've downed the tripod and the bag, having a little walk round, and you can see the patch of wild garlic behind me there, over to my left shoulder, in the distance there. But I thought I'd just do this little piece and just to highlight one of the problem plants that we have in this country. And I turn the camera around a little bit and you can see the carpet of light green in the background. It's actually behind me, and it's also on the hillside in that direction too, although it's probably a bit more sparse. This is Himalayan balsam, and a lot of you probably know it, and it's one of the species that's listed on Schedule 9 of the Wildlife and Countryside Act. It's actually illegal to cause it to spread in the wild. We've also got rhododendron dotted around, another plant that's also listed on that schedule. And these plants can often decimate our native species, which is a real shame. And in the case of this patch of wild garlic in the background there, I think in the next 10-15 years I think we're going to lose it. And the rangers here, whilst they do their best to get rid of this plant and rhododendron, I think they're fighting a losing battle, and it's a real shame that this has to happen. But that's nature, I suppose. Once these species get in, there's no getting them out. So whilst I'm here, I'm going to do my best and do these plants justice and just enjoy them while they last. I'm all set up, ready to go. I have to say, I got up this morning and it was blowing a hoolie, so I went back to bed, got up an hour later and it was so still, and so I've dashed here quickly. I've got here probably an hour after dawn, which isn't important on a day like today. It's so overcast, so the dawn light really doesn't matter, and I think it's perfect for shooting wild garlic. One of the problems that you have with this plant is that the leaves are quite reflective, so you've often got to use a polarizer to cut that down, and we've not really got that problem today. So I'm quite pleased. The only thing I will say is that compared to last time, now that the flowers are out, the pathway isn't quite as distinct. So I don't know how that's going to pan out. I'm going to put you on live view because I want to be able to show you what I'm seeing. There you go. So what I've got basically is the pathway running to a strong diagonal from the bottom left to the top right, and I've just clipped the horizon, or where the top of the wild garlic finish on the top third of the picture. So the pathway creates this lovely leading diagonal from the bottom left to the top right, which I really like. I could go wider, as you can see, but you start getting problems then in the top of the frame, especially the top right, where you get bright highlights where the tree canopy comes to an end, and you get where the hillside finishes in the background, and you get the light coming through. Now that creates a bit of a problem. Now what I could do in essence is take the picture like that and crop it as a panoramic. That could work as well, or equally I could just zoom in to a tighter scene, which I quite like. So I don't know how it's going to look compared to last time. We haven't got the dapple white that I had last time, which added to it a little bit, but this is more in keeping with plant photography and subdued light. So for this picture, in terms of settings, I've got f14, I'm on 1 second exposure. I've focused just a third of the way into the scene, and I'm on ISO 100. I'm on 2 second timer. I don't need to hold the shutter for any longer than that. I'm not using a cable release because everything's nice and still, and that's pretty much good to go. I'm on the cloudy setting just to give on the white balance, just to give a bit of warmth, but I could easily add that in post processing. And I've got a 16 to 35mm lens on, and I'm about the 24mm end of that focal length, and that's pretty much it. Good to go. So that's the standard shot done. We can pause slightly for the wider one. And there we have, in the bag. So I'm going to show both these shots at the end of the video, and I'll also put the one that I took 2 years ago on as well, just so you can see the comparisons, and I'll label them if I remember, so you can tell which one's which. Now I think I've got time to nip to another part of this woodland. 8:38. So yeah, I'm going to quickly nip to another part of the woodland where there's a weir and a fish pass that I went to recently whilst doing a one-to-one with a chap, and I did promise myself I'd go back and have a go at it. Cheers, chap. I really wasn't expecting to be able to do this today. I've literally got half an hour left and I've got to go, but it's only 10 minutes from where I've just been, so it's well worth the visit, and the time of year is absolutely perfect. I was here about 2 months ago, and as you can see, all the branches now are all in full leaf and they just look amazing. They're all nice and fresh and lush. 2 weeks ago it wasn't the same situation. It was very stark, very bare looking. I didn't like it. I'll set the camera up, I'm ready to go, but I'm going to pop it on live view so you can see what I'm getting. I'll just talk you through the scene. Just set the filter off because you'll not be able to see a thing otherwise. Stick it on live view now. What I've essentially got is the fish pass coming into the scene on the left hand side and moving through the base and back out of the scene on the right hand side. We've got the weir in the middle distance to the right, and you've also got, which is really important to me and crucial, is the beech tree that comes out over the weir on the right hand side. It's just nicely placed on top of the weir. The only problem I've got really with this scene today is that there's a bit of wind and that comes and goes, and I can take my chance. There's two ways it can work. It can work either where the leaves are moving and you get a nice painterly effect to the picture, or I can just wait until they're nice and still and just freeze all the motion. I don't really want to uprate the ISO because that'll affect the speed of the water. The point of the whole picture is to slow the water down and get this nice ethereal look. There is one other issue, and that's at the top part of the frame you've got some highlights. So what I'm going to do in this instance, I'm going to crop and I'm going to use the picture as a panoramic rather than the normal 3:2 format. So overall it looks a really nice picture. So I'm going to pop the neutral density back on, 6-stop lead, and take the picture. So initially I've got a base exposure, 1/4 of a second, and with the lead 6-stop that's giving me, and I'm just using aperture priority today, 13 or 15 seconds or thereabouts, with an ISO of 100 at f14. So I'll take the picture, close the back of the viewfinder so no light gets in. If you haven't got that facility, you can just put your hand over it as you take the picture. I'm on 2 second timer. I don't feel the need to use my cable release today. There's not really any need. There just isn't. Quite happy to use the 2 second timer. So it's taking the picture now. Hopefully it'll look alright. As it's exposing, the foliage isn't moving, so it should be a nice sharp image. Yeah, really good. Check the histogram. Absolutely perfect. Couldn't grumble with that. I suppose that's the end of today's video. As always, if you enjoyed it, please subscribe, press the like button and leave some comments. It always means a lot. Just wanted to say as well, if any of you are interested in where today's images were taken, just email me and I'll send you the grid references. So until next time, bye for now.